Welcome, beautiful soul, to the Feminine Awakening podcast with me, Christy Borbers, the voice of the wise woman. This is a space where ancient wisdom, astrology, energetics, embodiment meet empowerment. Here, you'll awaken your deepest truth, reclaim your feminine power, and rise as a woman you were always meant to be. This is your initiation into living a liberated, limitless, and self-led life of your own desire. Let's begin. I am so excited for you to join me on this episode. In today's episode, I want to share why I started this podcast and why now. The Feminine Awakening is not just a phrase, it's a movement. And for me, it's about women remembering their depth, their wisdom, their truth, and their leadership. I'll share my journey through the wise woman, through ancient wisdom, astrology, and embodiment practices, and why this is the foundation of everything that I teach. If you've been feeling the pull for more, knowing that there's something inside you that needs to be activated but you're not sure what, this is the episode to anchor in your next chapter. Hello there, I am so excited for you to join me today. This beautiful embodiment of the feminine awakening right now, in this time, in this presence, there is a deep activation happening where women are starting to reclaim their voice. They're starting to reclaim who they are. They're starting to feel more trustworthy in themselves, in their choices, in their bodies, and speaking their actual authentic truth. So I am so loving this at the moment. The women I teach, they come from where they've been held back. They've been told that maybe they're too much when they were younger, and they've shied away from the real person that they are. They've then shut emotions off, because it's been, you're too emotional, you've got too much feeling, you're too deep, you love too hard, things like this, which I just don't gel with at all. If anything, I feel that women have shut off their feelings because they feel that being emotional makes them soft, or makes them less than, or makes them not seem worthy. Especially in business. Women in business feel they need to shut off their emotions completely. I need to get this done. I've got to do this today. I've got to do that today. This is scheduled in, that's scheduled in. Whether they get a bleed, whether something happens in the family, they then feel that pull. I don't know what to do. I need this out, but I can't do that. I can't rest. I've got no time. I'm not about that at all. Things are going to always get in the way. And a woman is so generous and so open-hearted that they want to help everyone, even neighbours, people they don't know, anyone. Especially fiercely protective of family, friends, all these other things that arise. So you might not have children, but you might be really close with your friends, and your friends are your family. Your family might live overseas, but you ring them every other day. There is a heart inside the woman that feels so deeply and is so open to feelings. And when they were young, they held that and they played with that, and they were in a whole other realm. But it's like we're not safe to do that as adults. So I'm finding in people's businesses that there is this hustle going on, this constant movement, which we're going to talk about in another episode. But it takes them away from who they are meant to be and the time that they need to spend on themselves. So my number one tip that I'm going to talk to you about today is knowing yourself and really taking time to sit with yourself and understand that you are a woman with cycles. You are a woman who needs to know these things about themselves. For me, I'm in the menopausal journey. I am just switching from perimenopause to full menopause, where I haven't had the bleed for nearly 12 months. Now, once that hits, I'm in that different realm, the different realm of the wise woman. I don't feel like it's crone. I feel like the next level is crone, a little bit older. So if you don't know about this, what it is the cycle that it is something where we start as the maiden, we then move into mother. Whether we bear children or not, we become that mother figure, that nurturer that wants to nurture ourselves, our family, or others. Then we become this wise woman, and this wise woman is someone who knows a little bit more because they've been through the path, they've travelled through things, they've learnt about their cycle, they understand their body. And then the crone, which is that beautiful ancient wisdom woman who almost has that beautiful silver grey hair that you imagine, that you sit with. It's like a grandmother or a grandfather with an essence of a female. And you sit with them and they give you those tips, those things, and you think to yourself, oh, My grandmother used to say that. And now you say it to others because you've become that. That's the crone. So we have these 4 different parts. And me now being in the wise woman is where I am claiming it all. That I can lead, teach, and be that community leader for people to bring them home to themselves. Now, an example of this was I did a networking, co-working the other day, and one of the ladies had her period. And she had a lot to do, but she felt crap. So what we do is we shut off the emotion. We take a pill. We can't feel crap. We have to do this. This has to be done today. So we take a pill, Panadol, pop it, whatever it is, but we don't sit with understanding that our body is going through so much. When we bleed, can you imagine all the intricacies, all the hormones that are being released, all the things that are going on, allowing our body to shed this lining? It's amazing what our bodies do. But in that time, our bodies need rest. They don't need more stress, they need less. And that's why we get those pre-symptoms, the PMS, for us to understand that we need to rest. And then we have a bleed, and then we totally should rest. It's almost our invitation to rest. In the ancient times, the women with the bleed sat in a tent, and the other women attended to them, and vice versa. So you always help the women that have the bleed, but you accept it and you receive that warmth and that nurturing and that slow down. Which brings me into another whole sense of we are women, we are not men. A man can work in the same constant pretty much all day, but a woman can't. They're going to have ebbs and flows. And it's about understanding that about yourself. So even though I am in menopause and I am not bleeding, I still have that seasonal cycle. And now I look to it almost like a new moon, full moon. Full moon for most people is awakening, full expression, happy, joyful. New moon is intricate, reflection, deep. So that would sort of be the same as having a bleed type feeling. But for me, I'm the opposite, and a lot of women are. They are normally the psychics, the intuits, the wise woman, and the high priestess type people that have their fullness in this new moon period. So when people are going full bust in full moon, I go inwards and do my shadow work. But I know that about myself, and I've known that about myself for at least 30 years. Didn't know the exact words, but knew, okay, around this time I need to just not have too many things on. Let's just take it easy, okay? Now what I want you to do, there's a simple practice, and I want you to every day sit with yourself. Okay, if you don't know your cycle, start with that. Start tracking your cycle. Put day 1, bleed, whether it's a heavy, medium bleed, whatever it is, and how you feel. Couple of words. Moody, tired. The next day, da-da-da-da-da. The next day, da-da-da-da. And start looking at that. Do it for about 3 months. If you do it for 3 months, you will realise there's a pattern there. There's a pattern there. And this is especially if you don't use a contraceptive pill. If you use that, then things are a little bit different because we're dictated by science rather than nature. So I'm talking here about naturally not being on that and understanding this cycle and honouring that. Now, if you need to be on the pill or you want to be, that's totally your call. You will still have this as well. You will just feel it deeper if you haven't got anything controlling your hormones. We want you to understand your hormones. We want you to feel your hormones, okay? When you get teary, you're meant to express and be emotional. Let it out. When you feel good, that's when you're probably wanting to be with people. That's when the time of conceiving. Now, obviously, even if you don't want to conceive, you'll just feel good. You might feel flirty. You might want to go out and talk to people more, be more friendly. So all of that is knowing yourself. So this simple practice is literally every morning, start tracking, number 1. And allow yourself those down times. So if you're a business owner, you wouldn't be booking meetings on those days. You might book a podcast because you might not mind speaking, but you won't want to physically get dressed, go out, that sort of thing. If you're working, it might be when you say no to the drinks after work, when you're a bit quieter, people might say, oh, what's up with you? You're not your happy self. It's okay. We are allowed to be like that. We don't need to be the same every day, and we are not meant to be either. Now, the simple practice I want you to bring into your everyday life is to sit with yourself for 2 to 5 minutes. It's not even long. Even if you have to put an alarm on. And I've got clients who say, oh, but I've got to get up at 5:30, that's when my child gets up. That's okay. Sit for 5 minutes. The child can be, if it's young, in bed with you. If it's an older child, I'm sure they can look after themselves for a couple of minutes. You need to start putting your own feelings first and being able to nurture and understand what is going on for you. So it literally is just hand on heart, close eyes, connect in, a couple of deep breaths. Lower the shoulders. Breathing in from the belly all the way up to your heart, letting your shoulders relax. When you respond out, just really relax and make a sound if you need to. As you sit then, and you do that for a few minutes, you will know how you feel. And your emotion is your internal compass. Emotions are internal compass. We don't want to dull them to say you're not important anymore. We want to rise them up, make sure they are the most important thing, because they will tell you how you're going to navigate your day. So if it feels heavy, what can you cancel or change to make that day easeful? Again, linking it back to maybe your bleed, looking at your cycle as a whole, as you are part of that. Why work against the cycle that nature created for you? Why do we do that? Why do we want to do the hard things? We can make it easier on ourselves. Literally, like I said, 2 to 5 minutes sitting with yourself. If you've got a journal there, even better. I would journal just your thoughts down. Things are feeling heavy for me, things are feeling whatever, just journal it down. I've got a whole other couple of episodes that I'm going to talk about my actual morning routine and why I love that. But even if you start with that, it is enough for you to just go inwards and say, hey, how am I feeling today? If you want to add another element to that, you can put your hand on your womb. How's my womb feeling? And see if you can start feeling what the feminine is alive in there. Is she alive today? Is she creative? Is she juicy? What does she want to feel? What does she want to say? What does she want to express? Does she want to move? So you could do the womb for a couple of minutes. Then you could do your heart, your inner child. What does she want to say? Oh, she feels like she really wants to dance. She wants to be seen today. So see her. Whether it be you have to do a story on Instagram and post it of you dancing, whether it be you looking in the mirror at yourself and saying, hey, I see you, I love you, you are supported. Like whatever it is, we want to commune with these two areas, because the wild woman is the womb, the creator, the mother, and then you've got the heart, which is the inner child. And we want to know what both of them are feeling like and then move through the day. If we are just getting up in autopilot, then we are not in our feminine at all. And then we're wanting our intuition to work and the universe to help us. We don't even know what we're doing. We're waking up, putting the toast on, getting the cereal, getting all the lunch boxes, getting ready for work, putting on makeup. It's on repeat. That is not where we want to be. If you want to truly embody the full feminine and also your full magnetism and bring that truth and liberation and freedom into your life, then you need to know who this woman is and how does she work. Because if you start tracking it, never one day is the same as the other. And it's about having your little tools in place to be able to help yourself get through. There's things that have to be done. It's just life. Unless we move to a remote island where there was nothing to be done and all we had to do was just, milk the cow and drink the milk. We're not living in that life. Most of us aren't. But even if we had a little bit of time to ourselves, can you imagine the difference it would make in your life? Speaking from experience, it will make a hell of a difference. I would love to hear how this lands for you. Thank you for joining me on the Feminine Awakening podcast. If today's episode spoke to your soul, I invite you to take this work deeper inside the Queendom, my 12-month sacred mastermind for women ready to liberate their voice, embody their feminine power, and rise in sovereign self-leadership. Right now, the founding offer is open and we begin in October. You'll receive personalised astrology blueprints, powerful embodiment journeys, hot seat coaching, archetypal work, and sacred sisterhood at the highest level. The link is waiting for you in the show notes. Step into your next level with me. Until next time, Remember, the wise woman within you is waiting to rise. Please, I would love you to pop a 5-star rating below on Apple Tunes or Spotify and tell everyone about my podcast. Anyone that you think will benefit from knowing about their wise woman. Tag me, post it on Instagram. I would love to see how this landed for you. Talk to you soon. Until next episode, bye for now.